Hello, it's Sarah from Hardcover Hearts, and I'm here today with a tag video. I was generously tagged by Olive over at Book Olive. She's a fantastic booktuber, and I had the pleasure of doing a buddy read with her over the summer that was phenomenal. So I was happy to see this. I think it's a really interesting tag because it talks about how we think about books and books as physical objects. And so let's just jump right in. The first question is, what is your average monthly budget for books? I allow myself between maybe $50 and $70 a month. I don't always spend that. I'm a huge public library user, but I have a budgeting system that I use, and it kind of tells me when I'm within a range or near over. And so if I went under 1 month, I might allow it to go up a little more, but I try to stay within that range. Second question is, what's the most you've ever spent in a bookstore? Oh my, oh my. Okay, here's the thing. When I first went to London for the very, very first time, I had saved up money. I saved up money because I was going to go book shopping. And that was one of the reasons that I actually went to London. I had the bookshops listed. We had the itinerary. It was done. I even had an extra suitcase that was in my suitcase that I was going to use to fill up with books. So that was the purpose. Therefore, I am not going to tell you how much I spent. I'm just going to say that I had a fantastic time. And I still look at those books with such joy. And I know exactly where I bought every single one of them. And I learned so much. And I just had such a fantastic experience. I met so many amazing booksellers. And it was a delight. And I think if you are able to do something like that and save up money, and have a splurge on your dream book buying excursion, you should do it because it was fantastic. 3, are you willing to pay full price for a brand new release, or will you wait until you have a coupon or if there's a sale? I don't wait for sales. So for me, it's much more about can I get it at my library? Or do I need to buy it? And how desperate am I to read it and be part of the first people who are reading and looking at it? I don't read a lot of reviews, so I don't like to be told how I should think about a book. So I will tend to only do that after. I like to hear a buzz about a book, so a general a general sense of what people are thinking, but I don't like to go into deep details. So an example is Ocean Vuong came and had a reading with Rebecca Solnit. I absolutely revere Rebecca Solnit, wanted to see what the fuss is about, could not get a copy at my library to save my life, or any of the libraries that I'm a member of, because I'm a member of a few. It wasn't on Scribd, so I went down to my local store and bought a hardcover. I tend to not do that too often because I usually am able to get the library copy. That was just an anomaly, but I will do that on occasion. And of course, I will absolutely pay full price and buy it if there's an author reading as they're promoting. And so I think I've mentioned before that I live in the San Francisco Bay Area, and so a lot of authors come. And so that's a wonderful opportunity. There's a fly that's making me nuts. So apologies if you see it. So those are the times when I'll buy, but I don't wait for coupons and I don't wait for deals. I enjoy the digital deals that come out, but I usually will get those if there's something interesting that I've been wanting to read anyway. Next up is, would you rather buy one new book or several less expensive used copies? Absolutely, several inexpensive or less expensive used copies. I'm not precious about being the first person to own a book. I kind of like when other people have had it and touched it and passed it on. Though I do love finding a used copy that's pristine. That feels like a unicorn. So I do like that. Next is, what do you think is a reasonable price for a new hardback book, a paperback, or an ebook? This question has spurned so much thoughtful conversation from people who have been published, people who have worked in bookstores, and the like. And so I'm going to put 2 response videos to this in here because I think it helps to frame up the conversation. I will say I'm not in publishing. I don't know what a reasonable price is. I know what the prices are, and we pay them. So I have a ton of privilege in my life, and I work very hard, but I work at a great job and I get paid well. So I'm less concerned about that. I'm personally concerned in ensuring that our public library system is buying books and have the funds to be able to offer the services for those who can't afford to buy, so that there's an alternative. So that's where my heart lies, is ensuring that the public library is set up for success. Yeah, so that's kind of where I don't feel I'm in a position to talk about all the things that it takes to get a book into the world. I'm just happy that they do. Next up is a signed book worth more to you, and how about a first edition? A signed book is only worth more to me if I've had it signed when I was there, you know, so if it was part of an engagement in a conversation. So I have a few signed books that delight me and make me very, very happy in there. I will say one of my favorite books that's signed that I wasn't a part of was my 84 Charing Cross Road is signed by Helene Humph. And so that makes me very happy because it's one of my favorite books. But yeah, I like, it's worth more to me, but only because it's my copy and there was an interaction with them. The first edition, I do like to get if it's a first edition with a cover that I like in good condition, yeah, I do. I search for those, but I think it's more about the search. It's more about the fun of seeing if I can find one, less than it is truly about that this is more valuable. It's more valuable in terms of the fun that it brings me and seeing if I can find one. Like, I'm always hunting for a first edition Virgin Suicides. You know, something like that. Those are the things that I'm looking for, and I definitely enjoy doing that. What is my most valuable book, sentimental or actual value? Definitely the 84 Charing Cross Road that I have. And I think some of the ones that I have signed, like K.C. Lehman signed Heavy for me and put a joke that he and I were sharing about how crazy Berkeley was during the last Bay Area Book Festival. And so I really like that. That's really nice. I have some books that I literally within the past 3 weeks just got from my parents' home that were in my father's collection, that were his grandfathers, so my great grandfathers, and I'll do a video, a little pan of those. I have a few. I have my Folio Society books that I really love because I coveted them for so long, but I did not have any money and I didn't have the ability to buy them because I just felt like they were so much. And I remember thinking that promising myself that if I got this promotion, I was gonna get the Folio Society Dune, and it just so happened that I got promoted and they had a sale. Folio Society had a sale, so I was able to get it more cheaply and then get a couple other folio books to compensate. So that started my Folio Society edition collection, which does bring me a lot of joy. And I would say, I have A Little Life signed by Hanya Yanagihara because when it first came out, I went to her book review, and I just read it that weekend, and I was just sitting in the front row like a Hermione, just hanging on her every word. So that one is a pretty special one. So yeah, I've got a few that make me quite happy. Next up is, will you pay more for a cover or edition you like better? Abso-freaking-lutely. That is one of the things. Cover art is incredibly important to me, and I've been known to search for a UK edition, or not buy it and wait for when I go over to England, just so that I can get it there. 100%, absolutely. What physical characteristics does a good quality book have? I like it to stand up. I like it to be I like the paper to have a feel to it. I like the quality to be really strong. I don't want it to feel flimsy. I want to be able to open it and feel like I'm not going to ruin it. So all of those are things that I really look for. And I maybe I'm in the minority, but I don't mind decolled edges. Okay. I think I may have just been banned from BookTube for saying that. And then 10, if you won the lottery, what bookish things would you do with the money? Oh, I have played this game so many times in my mind. So one of the things that I would love to do is I would love to create a reading retreat. And so in my mind, it's like a place you would go, like a rec center, but only for books. So I have imaginings of somewhere in the Berkeley or Oakland Hills, with a little bit of a yard and a house or a space that has rooms that people can just go read in, and a little cafe where everyone's just quiet, and there's a library there that people can access, that you can get membership into, and you could just spend quiet time there, and there are author readings and events. You could have meeting rooms where you could talk about books, but those are off from everyone else, so everyone can read in peace. I'm constantly looking for great places to read that are not in my home, because as much as I love my home, sometimes I'm here too often, and I'd like to be out in public in the world. And so from that perspective, I would love to do something like that. I think it would be wonderful, because I feel bad if I'm in a cafe. I feel like I have to keep ordering food to justify my seat. And I don't want to do that. I just want to read. And then I would also go to book festivals. I would love to just travel to book festivals throughout the world. I think that would make me very happy. An image. So I'm going to drop a few images that I have saved that make me feel comfortable, and what I love about a library, a personal library. So I'll put them in here, and that's it. Those are all of my answers. Thank you so much, Olive, for tagging me, and I would like to tag Elizabeth of Bookish North, Celia, I'd like to tag you. Trying to think of who else hasn't done this. Sharon of Sharon Goforth, I don't know if you've done this. Tia of Tia in the Books. I would love Leo of A Little Book Life. Let's see, Juan, I don't think Juan of Just One Reader, I don't think you've done this. Yeah, so that's it. And if you want to do it and you haven't been tagged, please consider yourself tagged. Thank you so much, and I'll see you later. Bye.